Good morning, friend in the Dharma home and friend at home. Welcome to our Sunday Live Dharma. My name is Salma, and I'm happy to be here sharing this beautiful day with all of you. Today, our good friend Nate Jackson, Won Jason, is going to share his Dharma talk, The Source of Happiness and Suffering. I can't wait for that. But first, let us start our practice by reading the essential Dharma of daily practice together on page 11. Essential Dharma of daily practice. 1. The mind is originally free from disturbance. But disturbance arises in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the equanimity of our true nature by letting go of disturbance. 2. The mind is originally free from delusion, but delusions arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the wisdom of our true nature by letting go of delusions. 3. The mind is originally free from wrongdoings, but wrongdoings arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the precepts of our true nature by letting go of wrongdoings. 4. Let us replace disbelief, greed, laziness, and ignorance with belief, zeal, questioning, and dedication. 5. Let us restore resentment into gratitude. 6. Let us restore dependency into self-reliance. 7. Let us turn reluctance to learn into willingness to learn well. 8. Let us turn reluctance to teach into willingness to teach well. 9. Let us turn lack of public spirit into eagerness to serve the good of all. Now, please stand up and let us join in happy relaxation movement guided by Lars.
Good morning, friends at home. Good morning, friends here in the Dharma Hall. Please scoop up a little bit more so we have some more space for the people in the back. Make sure we have enough space for each other. First, please stand hip-width apart. Our knees are slightly bent. Our tailbone points straight towards the ground. Shoulders are relaxed, and we tuck in our chin. This stance is called Wujibu. Now let's make a triangle with our hands. Put your thumbs in your navel. And just drop your hands. Somewhere in this triangle is your breathing center. Let's breathe in, let's find it. And breathe out. Breathing center is called the Dantian or the Danjan. Breathe in 5 seconds. And breathe out 5 seconds. One more time, breathe in. And breathe out. Drop our hands. First breath in, crane's breath. Push our hands straight to the sky, breathing in. And breathing out, fold your hands over, palms facing down, breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. In. And out. One more time in. And out. Put your hands and palms on the Dantian. relax, breathing in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And out. Drop our hands and arms. Again, breathe in. Push the energy up. And then we do a second breath. Fold your palms up straight to the sky. And we're breathing out. Slowly return our arms to the side. Again, breathe in. Breathe in again. Palms facing straight to the sky. And breathe out. In. Look at your hands, breathe out. Slowly return the hands to our sides. One more time, breathe in. Breathe in again. Straight up. And breathe out. Our palms collect back on our dantian. Keep breathing in and out. Relax. In. Out. In. And out. Drop our arms. We're breathing in. One hand comes up, the other hand comes down. One pushes the sky, the other one pushes the ground. Twist to the side where the arm is low. And we're breathing out, our arms come to the side, stretching. We slowly rotate forward, breathing in. The other arm now pushes up the sky. The other one, the ground. Look over your hand, it pushes towards the ground. And breathe out. Slowly twist forward, switch arms, breathe in. And breathe out. Breathing in. And breathe out. Twist again. Breathing in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Twist forward. Collect your hands on your dantian and relax. Continue breathing. Breathe in. And out. In. And out. Now step out, hip width and a half apart. Hands come on your hips. You're breathing in, you twist to one side into a high Qi Gong. Arch back gently. And when we're breathing out, we fold forward. Slowly twist to the other side, breathing in on your way up. Look to the other side, gently arch back. And breathe out, come forward. Twist back to the other side, breathing in on your way up. Arch back. And breathe out. Rotate to the other side, breathing in. And breathe out. One more round, breathing in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Rotate to the center. Feet back, hip width apart. Collect your hands in a dantian. breathe in. And breathe out, relax. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. Our hands slowly rotate to the back side. Look behind yourself, just gently. Breathe out. Fold forward at the hip. Let your arms dangle all the way to the ground as much as you can. Breathe in. Slightly bend your knees. Get lifted by your shoulders. And our hands rest back on our dantian, breathing out. One more time, breathe in. Slowly rotate your hands to the back side. Arch back gently. Breathe out. Fold forward. Just drop your hands to the ground. Slightly bend your knees, breathing in. Get lifted. Stand back up. And rest our hands on our dantian. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Fold forward. Breathe in. And breathe out. Relax for one breath, breathing in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And out. Thank you, friends. Now please join us in 4 bows to the Dharmakaya Buddha Fourfold Grace, either in standing bows or full kneeling bows. Please use your mat as a pad for your knees. Thank you.
With gratitude, I bow to the grace of heaven and earth, honoring the infinite source of marvelous existence. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of parents, ancestors, and everyone who has given me life and nurtured me. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of fellow beings, embracing the truth of interconnectedness. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of laws, which guides us to develop justice and freedom through Dharma and universal principles. meditation is simple and easy. Anyone can practice it. Please take time to find your most comfortable position on the mat, a bench or a chair. Wiggle and stretch to release any tension in your body. Then gently rock back and forth until you are balanced and settled, like a peaceful mountain. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, release any tension or uneasiness. Relax and gently bring your focus to your lower abdomen. Allow yourself to settle into belly breathing. As you breathe in, your lower belly will gently expand. When you release your breath, your lower belly gently shrinks. Our lower belly is the home of our whole body. It is the storehouse of our vital Qi energy. We call it the Danzhen, our Qi energy field. Take a moment to breathe deeply from your Danzhen. Settle your mind and focus there. As you softly breathe in and release, gradually strengthen your lower back and open your chest and heart. You may notice your spine adjusting and straightening. As you feel strengthened and centered, align your ears with your shoulders and let your shoulders melt down away from your neck. Tuck your chin in slightly. Let your eyelids relax and gently drift downward to a place of ease. Enjoy the sensation of your arms and hands relaxing. Now, bring your awareness to your tongue. Place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, right behind your two front teeth. When your tongue rests there, pure and clear saliva may gather in the mouth. This is a delightful sign of cool energy ascending. Smile at your calm and clear spirit and swallow. If your face or body begins to itch, simply observe the itching and let it pass. If your legs ache unbearably, you may change your position very slowly and quietly, so to maintain a calm stillness and honor the silent practice of those around you. When thoughts arise in your mind, do not play with them. As you exhale, let them float away like clouds, or invite them to settle down and meditate with you. Continue to bring your awareness back to your Danzhen abiding breath. When your mind is calm, concentrated, perfectly focused, and at peace, you will rest in the realm of samadhi, deep meditation. You will be free from the distinction between yourself and others and the limits of time and place. We are grateful to sit quietly together, finding the still point within. May we be here now, deeply aware of our ever calm, ever alert spirit.
Yeongju Prayer Chant, page 4. Spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. Let us join our hearts and palms together for prayer for peace and healing. Peace on earth from here now. Peace on earth from here now. O Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, 법신불 사은이시여. In this November month of contemplation, we are blessed and privileged to live in a relatively safe and comfortable place. Yet, the world is spinning with violence and suffering. We are all deeply interconnected. So, with aching hearts, the pain and suffering of the world is our pain and suffering. Accordingly, we join our minds and hearts, praying for the tragic, sad situations in the Middle East, in Ukraine, and in all other troubled areas of the world. There is a long karmic history behind each war. Together, may we strive to resolve human conflict. With global wisdom and compassion, may the catastrophe and suffering in Gaza and Israel come to an end. We send our loving, compassionate energy to innocent victims and their families on all sides of conflicts. We pray for the end of violence. May we do all we can to bring this prayer into action. May all beings recognize the true nature of humanity and practice love for one another. May we realize peace begins with each of us now, in our own minds and hearts. May all beings be well and at ease. This we pray with our whole hearts. 원하옵니다. 원하옵니다. 간절히 원하옵니다. 내 손길 닿는 곳, 내 발길 머무는 곳, 내 음성 멸해지는 곳, 내 마음 향하는 곳마다 우리 모두 다 함께, 우리 모두 다 함께 성불제주 인연이 되어지리라. I wish and pray sincerely and truly, where my hands touch the world, where my feet walk on the earth, where my voice echoes through the hills, and in all realms where my heart and mind reach, that we all together, share a true affinity for attaining great enlightenment and for helping all living beings. Sutra chanting. Page 10. Realize that all five aggregates are empty, and thus we came free from all suffering and distress. Shariputra form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. The same is true of sensations, perceptions, impulses, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They do not appear or disappear, are not tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. Emptiness, no form.
form, no sensations, no perceptions, no impulses, no consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, or mind, consciousness, nor ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance, no old age and death, nor extinction of them, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation of suffering, no path, no wisdom, no attainment, with nothing to attain. A bodhisattva relies on prajnaparamita, therefore the mind has no hindrance, without any hindrance, no fears exist, free from delusion, one dwells in nirvana. All Buddhas of the past, present, and future rely on prajnaparamita and attain supreme enlightenment.
This morning, our longtime temple friend, Nate Jackson, Won Jason, will share his Dharma talk, The Source of Suffering and Happiness. Let's practice deep listening as we welcome Nate.
Thank you, Rebecca. It's wonderful to be here with you this morning. It was wonderful looking out at such a variety of people. A lot of familiar faces and a lot of new faces, but we're all here with the same intention, which is to touch the peace and grace inside of ourselves and take that out into the world. Which brings me to the title of my talk, which is Suffering and Happiness. What could be simpler? The talk comes from verse 14 of the Doctrine chapter in the scriptures of the Founding Master. The Founding Master, Soto-san, said, "Anyone encountering sensory conditions involving suffering and happiness may understand about receiving transgressions and merits. So, through our senses, we can experience suffering and happiness, and we may recognize that those are the result of having sown seeds that create harmful or beneficial consequences." Soto-san said, having this understanding, they will seek the origin of transgressions and merits, and in seeking that origin, their meaning will become clear. So, having understood that suffering and happiness are the result of wholesome or unwholesome actions, people will seek the origin of these actions so that their meaning will become clear. I think he was saying this to people who were largely superstitious, that suffering and happiness are not matters of luck or wicked spirits or evil spells, but rather a consequence of their own behavior. So they, and now we, have an incentive to discover the origin of wholesome and unwholesome behavior. My question for all of us today is simple. What is the source of our suffering and happiness? I'd like to use my relationship with my two older sisters to guide this investigation. Growing up, I was very close to them. They were really good to me. I didn't understand the word love back then, but I'd say there was a lot of love between us. As we became older, differences and distance crept in. I'd say we all became more defended, less tolerant, and weighed down by some of life's disappointments, allowing forgotten resentments to rise to the surface. My sense of love and ease and gratitude for them became less available. I don't think I really noticed my presumption that this was their fault. I blamed them for the traits, opinions, and actions that I found hurtful and misguided. And since this was their fault, what could I do? Clearly, it was out of my innocent hands. I was able to keep my temper mostly and be polite, and generally spend less time with them than I once did. As dismal as that sounds, back then I admired my restraint and tolerance. And since I never said anything unpleasant to them, they of course had no complaints about me. But as I got further along the spiritual path, questions and opportunities arose. I came to understand that any judgment I make against another is an outward expression of an unrecognized judgment I have been harboring against myself, one most likely incubating since childhood, unseen and unbeknownst to me, despite causing oceans of suffering. One judgment I leveled at my sister was that she was controlling. I had felt most controlled by her when I would make dinner, and she would arrive with vegetables and leftovers, expecting me to work them into my menu. Really? Thus, one day, 3 years ago, the thought, "She is so controlling," burst forth as this jaw-dropping shock. Oh my God, I am controlling. I am the one who's been sowing seeds of animosity. Whoa, that set me back. That was a lot to take in. It had never crossed my mind. That was my controlling come to Jesus moment. The next time she arrived for dinner with her offerings, I could see caring and generosity in this. Rather than controlling her little brother, I could appreciate that she was still looking out for him. I could see a wish to be loved. Not feeling defensive, I could relax and be flexible. I thanked her and said, "Let me show you what I have, then let's see how to use what you've brought." So I showed her, after which she said, "Well, you seem to have it covered. Let's save what I brought for tomorrow." I felt a flood of tenderness and appreciation for her, and awe at the very real consequence of the release of my judgment for all these years of my sister as controlling. Soto-san, rather than relying, as in the past, on others to perform their Buddha offerings for them, they will now mostly have to perform their own. The procedures for making these Buddha offerings will have to be mastered by all adherents, which is you. Prior to Soto-san's time, there was a long tradition in Asia of imagining the Buddha as an entity inside an idol or somewhere out there separate from oneself, with essentially magical powers to grant wishes, big and small. An offering to that kind of Buddha could be transactional, like giving money or food in return for blessings. You could even pay someone to perform Buddha offerings on your behalf, like paying someone to take a test for you, or paying someone to give a Dharma talk for you. Soto-san said, "No, the Buddha is not out there. The Buddha is precisely here, with us, in everyone and in everything. You, your family and friends, plants and animals, rocks and rivers. If you wish to improve your relationship with another, make an offering to them, not to an image." Thus, my Buddha offering was made directly to my sisters. It was to stop judging them and instead accept them as they are, to be curious about them and their interest rather than dismissive or defensive, to acknowledge them for all that was right rather than complain about what seemed wrong. Soto-san, having awakened to this principle, people will make Buddha offerings with a clear understanding of the length of time involved. The habits and beliefs that lead to transgressions run deep. So transformation for me has been slowish. So don't be discouraged if results don't appear quickly. Improvements in the outer circumstances of my life have been a gradual collateral benefit after heaps of inner work. Despite having read this chapter twice, it took 8 years before I realized how to make a Buddha offering to my sisters. It took that long for me to become the context of improved relations with them. God bless our reverends for their patience, perhaps seeing in me and seeing in you the potential for transformation. Sotasan, people having awakened to the principle of Ilwan Song, the Dharmakaya Buddha, will revere as the Buddha the myriad things in heaven and earth. A friend recently asked me what feelings I had toward the plants in my house. I said that I liked their beauty, but I didn't have any actual feelings toward them. She then asked if it had ever occurred to me that these plants knew almost everything about me. That sent a shiver through my whole body. I realized how much of my life and innermost expressions had unfolded in front of these plants. If I'd known, I would have been more careful. I considered one plant in particular, which I have cared for and kept alive for 15 years. I've pruned, fertilized, and watered it. And when I'm gone in the summer, I run cotton ropes from a large bowl of water to keep it alive, but never with the intention of being kind to the plant. Maybe without realizing it, I have been in a relationship with this fellow being. Rather than a generic houseplant, can I see a being who's been loyal to me, has never judged me, has graced my home with beauty, and forgiven me for the time the water ran out. One who has possibly supported and cared for me in ways that I cannot understand. Now when I water the plant, I do so as a Buddha offering. When I walk by, I touch her leaves and I thank her. Sotasan, even after mastering the procedures and correctly making Buddha offerings, there will be differences in the results. For only when one continues with utmost sincerity, appropriate to the circumstances, will there be success. How do we tell if an action is sincere? Perhaps the feeling from which it is coming. Is it an offering coming from obligation? Coming from fear? Is there subtle, self-interested manipulation? Or is it a selfless, spontaneous expression of goodwill? Sincerity with my sisters seemed evident when I could feel my love for them reappearing. I am recovering. The wonderful sisters I had known as a child, who, to my amazement, had never stopped loving me. How could I have missed or discounted their love for all those years? I've begun to experience my sisters as sweet and lovable and sort of adorable. And even though I'm just getting to the point where I can tell them I love them, I believe they have already felt it. What a relief it must be for them to feel that I am once again sincerely happy to see them. But I could only give to them and to you that which I've already given to myself. I can only share with you the love and acceptance that I have discovered within. In the past, when I heard the phrase, love yourself, it went as deep as a bumper sticker. Later, when I took it more seriously, I would literally stop and try to love myself, but nothing happened. Now I can see that innocent little boy's love has always been there, encrusted beneath layers of truly wacko beliefs and judgments. Gradually, I've seen those beliefs are empty, not standing on any kind of evidence, like Dorothy pulling the curtain back on The Wizard of Oz. The longer this unlearning continues, the more secure and solid I am in myself, and the more secure my sisters feel in how they will be received by me. Of course, at times I forget and I lose my way. I used to get upset with myself about this forgetting until I realized I'm not supposed to remember. Like the prodigal son, I'm meant to lose my way. There appears to be value in forgetting this deeper wisdom than finding my way back home again and again, until the day I realize, like the prodigal, I never actually left. Now I can see that all you troublesome people have a mission in my life, to bring into consciousness those long forgotten implements of my own suffering, so they can be noticed, held gently in awareness, and released. Your family's job is not to change. Their job is to set you free.
My goodness, Nate, thank you so much for sharing that deeply personal, also insightful look into creation of our own suffering. And one of my little notes here that I think one of my takeaways is it's okay to sometimes point the finger back to ourselves rather than out to other people. And it's okay to do that, we'll live and we'll learn. And I think what we can do, I think this maybe has hit everybody individually. And so while we're waiting to hear the transition bell, we will just sit quietly and think about our own personal takeaways from this.
As many of you know, Reverend Z Young is finishing her work here in North Carolina. And tomorrow, she will be heading to New York. When Reverend Z Young arrived in January 2021, we were in the midst of a pandemic, so it was an unusual beginning for her. Since then, she has been serving in many important roles, from leading the children's program and Dharma study groups to doing many administrative tasks. She has been especially helpful in coordinating and designing our hybrid live-streamed and Zoom meditation services. Before she heads out, Reverend Z Young has a few parting reflections to share with us. So let us put our palms together and welcome Reverend Z Young.
my heart is heavy, saying that I'm leaving. Some of you asked where I'll be going next. Thank you.
I meant to do that.
I am going to the Won Buddhism New York temple in Flushing, New York. And I'll be staying there for the rest of this year and will be assigned to somewhere for the next year. And many of you kindly sent me emails and cards or shared with me in person what my presence here at the NC Temple meant to you. Reading and listening to all your heartfelt words has been such a humbling experience for me. It feels like I've done so little to earn your appreciation and genuine love and care. My past 3 years here at NC Temple were very special in many ways. I learned so much from Reverend Won and you all. Each of you is a unique, shining example of selfless generosity, utmost dedication, positivity, perseverance, an inquisitive mind, great compassion, and the list goes on. You're like the guiding stars shining in the dark night sky. I'll cherish each moment that you shared in my heart. And I saved the biggest star for last, Reverend Won. Those who spent more time than I did with her would know better. I simply cannot fathom all the hardships she had to go through from the moment she moved here, all by herself, and up until now, creating this wonderful Sangha of many shining guiding stars. It's simply beyond all words. Her complete, utter devotion. She has always given her very best, everything she's got. And what it means to everyone in this community is just immeasurable. Reverend Won, her utter devotion will always be a big, bright, guiding star to me. And by the way, some of you asked a more fundamental question, why I am leaving. Well, it's a long story and I cannot share the details. But it all comes down to my vow to be a Chon Mu Chul Shin, a term for a Won Buddhist minister. Chon Mu Chul Shin means a person who devotes him or herself completely and makes an all-out, complete effort. And as a Chon Mu Chul Shin, it is my responsibility and my promise to serve and to make an all-out, complete effort wherever I need to be. So that's why. But I cannot help but feel heavy-hearted. And it's partially because of the regret that I have about the past few months. I was going through the most difficult time, feeling that I lost what I trusted the most, and what I loved the most, and what has been my only hope. It felt like my entire life was uprooted and falling apart. So I wasn't really myself during that time. I tried my best, but oftentimes I just couldn't pretend to be okay and put on a happy face, and I was bursting into tears every now and then. So I wasn't as available as I should be and wanted to be to Reverends Won Buddhist and chant and to you all. And I'm truly sorry for that. I pray with my sincerest heart that this giant wall between people, which exists only because of misunderstanding and prejudice, can all crumble, and we all can truly become one and work together to realize the greatest vision of saving ourselves, others, and the whole world from suffering. I vow to dedicate myself completely and to everything I can to make that a reality. Although I'm leaving the NC temple, I'll always be within the larger Won Buddhist community we all are in together. So I'm not leaving in that sense. And as one of you beautifully said in your email, our paths will continue to cross in the future as they did this time. It was such a great honor and pleasure to be of service to this community. Thank you all again from the bottom of my heart.
Reverend Young sits there for a while. Enjoy her beautiful, graceful energy here with us. Nothing is permanent, and changes are often not easy, but everything changes. When Reverend Ginger left our temple 3 years ago, a room for Reverend Young opened. Through the change, a new chapter was opened for our previous Reverend Ginger at One Dharma Center. And now new possibilities are opening for Reverend Young. There were times I envisioned that Reverend Young will be working at this temple for many more years. But things have unfolded differently. As you all experienced, Reverend Young has brought such a calm and graceful energy to our community. I have been constantly impressed and touched by her sincere dedication and devotion. She has shared her wisdom and insight through Dharma talks and discussions. She has been a hard and diligent worker behind the scenes, especially organizing temple work files and accounting records. Dear friends, wishing her the best in our ongoing journey, let us pause in silent prayer, holding her in gratitude with our hearts. Today we are going to have some tea and refreshments, so we can all have some time to hang out with Reverend Qi Gong. And I have to say, anyone who lived with me, she survived. Almost 3 years. It was tough. She made it. So try to focus on the celebrational part.
Thank you, Reverend Mongong, and thank you, Reverend Ziyang. We will miss you so much. And as you head to New York, please know that we send our very best wishes. And we'll, as Reverend Mongong said, spend some time celebrating Reverend Ziyang and wishing her goodbye with those light refreshments. And thank you so much for practicing with us today. At 4 p.m. today at our sister temple in Raleigh, we invite you to join us for a peaceful community meditation gathering. Please join us if you're able. It is a beautiful way to end the day and begin the week. And all are welcome to come and enjoy our beautiful autumn meditation garden during the day, anytime before dusk. And you are welcome to meditate, walk, sit, and you're also welcome to join the reverends in doing garden care. So please let them know if you're interested. And you can stay connected with our temple by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And if you haven't yet, please click the subscribe button. And for friends here in person, you can scan the QR code for the subscription page. Thank you in advance for your support. If you're new and you would like to join our community listserv, there are sign-up cards in the foyer, like this one, and or you can send us an email. Now let us bless each other with our morning prayer song on page 13.
Dhammakaya Buddha, full grace, I begin a new day in your presence. Today full of health and with peace of mind. May I walk along the path of the Buddha. Dhammakaya Buddha, full grace. I begin a new day with your grace. Today gratefully and with gentle words, may I live in harmony with all those I meet. Dharmakaya Buddha, full grace. I begin a new day with compassion. Today making the world a more loving place. May I do all that I can for one world. Bow to our friends next to us. Big smile, gratitude, and waving our hands to through the Mr. Sony, many friends waving back at us, we wave back at them.